and then we'll get in a situation where we know we need this job, we know we need this employment, we know we need this help, and we will allow our feelings or our emotions or our tongue to take us out of position.
Right.
So I see that you're in position, you're doing great work with a lot of different organizations, and I know that comes with a lot of discipline to get that work done. Mm-hmm. It's not just about signing up on a volunteer list and going to these meetings. It's about actually getting there, realizing sometimes they don't even want to hear it from you.
Right.
You're just there. And then, you know, fighting through that, holding your tongue, hearing some stuff about you, seeing stuff about you that pertain to your kids. What's been some things that you've had to bite your tongue, refrain from saying, allow front about, and grow through so that you can get to where you're at today?
Well, you know, Noble Drew Ali teaches us to practice love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And because we have gone through so much trauma, right. You know, we've been so dehumanized, and we've lost that sense of self. There's a lot of anger, a lot of rage, and a lot of hatred built up inside of us. And so for me personally, I take that hate out. You know, and it's not easy, but I have to remove the hate because I find that it doesn't work for me to focus on a source outside of myself. They did this to us. Mm-hmm. They did that to us. They're doing this and they're doing that. Their bills are paid.
Islam.
Their children are being educated.
Islam.
Their health is on the rise.
Islam.
But still, we're being locked up. We're dropping out of school. We're being diagnosed with diabetes, heart failure, cancer, and every other disease. We are continuing to be statistics that account for dollars in someone else's bank account. And so what I do is focus on my personal condition. How can I make my situation better? How can I improve my situation? And instead of hating, how can I love the person who was said to be my biggest hater? Because when I can demonstrate love toward them, that means that I can get out of my lower self and I can operate in my higher self, which is more powerful than any force that may try to come against me. You know, and so even in working with other people, what I do on the job at the workplace, you know, on the side I might let people know, hey, you're not black, you're not a color. You know, this flagpole is black, this piece of paper is white, and neither of us, none of us match those two things. But if we keep on going outside looking for the answer, they hate us, they did this, they did that, and then we turn around saying, but can I get this? Can I please have some help with this bill? Can I please have some food from someone who don't even look like me? No. My focus is, how can I uplift myself? How can I uplift those who look like me without focusing on the negative, without focusing on hate? How can we love? How can we come together and really let our guards down? How can we begin to reestablish some trust? Because there's a great amount of distrust amongst our brothers and sisters to where you can tell those who have a little knowledge of themselves because they'll address a person that looks like them as their brother or sister. We don't even want to call somebody that's not blood related brother or sister unless we, you know, somewhere else. And so that's the biggest thing for me, letting go of that hate, getting past hate, because hate will stifle you, you know. But when I can operate in love, I can see all the potential, all the opportunities. I know who I am. So none of that hate can stop me. Now that I know how to operate in love, how can I show someone else the love that's greater than what their situation looks like?
Islam.
You know, when you know who you are, we are the first beings that were ever created. Nothing but ourselves can get in our way. So we kind of, you know, that slavery happened, it happened.
Right.
Now we get to choose whether or not we remain a slave.
See, I'm glad you said that, because you know, so often we as a people, we keep looking at the European. What did happen? What about us? It's time been declared out. Let's stop worrying about the European and get into ourselves. Get into ours. You got children. Let's raise our babies. Let them be the future. Let us live through them. And stop worrying about what took place during the advent of slavery. Because she just said learn to love. See, know what Ali told us? We have to learn to love instead of hate.
Islam.
He chose to give back.
Right.
He said, give back the hatred. Let's learn to love because we didn't know how to love.
Islam.
So we thankful.
Islam.
And as long as we got love in us, then we got Allah in us because Allah is love.
Islam.
Praise Allah.
Islam, Sheikh. Man, I really want to thank the sister for coming on today and enlightening me.
Honor and
You know,
pleasure.
every time she comes around, she sparks a fire in me that, I mean, I can't explain because I'm able to watch her growth and development. She's also from Portland. She's all from here.
That's
you know?
why I'm honored to have both y'all here because y'all the future.
She been swimming through this too.
Yeah.
Hey, but if someone was to visit Portland, they may have a weird feeling and a weird flow, but you would be surprised at how pleasant the people are here.
Portland's beautiful.
As a 4% population,
Yeah.
you would think that we're being mashed out and we're being creamed. But it's like you said, the work, they feel like their work is already done. They don't need to do something. We're already, and the last little bit of work, we're doing it to ourselves. But as I was reading in Drew Ali's text, he said he's only 4% of the Moors. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
I seen that. So we might be the 4% right here in this great Northwest.
Yeah.
He said he gonna save 4%.
He said that.
I was reading that. I ran across that in my studies. And
he said if I raised all you up at one time, I couldn't handle you myself.
There we go.
So I can't work everybody up at one time.
So we talking about something now, man.
That's what the prophet
I mean,
said.
I can't find nothing in the literature that excludes me.
And see, we're fortunate. We are blessed here because there's never been a temple here.
Islam.
See, we are the first Moors here. I mean, you got
Islam.
a few Moors,
That we think of.
But we the first ones here.
I feel the spirit.
Organized anyway.
I never argue with my teacher, and I'm not here to argue, but I feel the spirit. I have to beg to differ. I feel like we've been here, Mo.
Bro, we've been here forever. Time never was and we was not. But when I'm speaking of reference to organized.
Okay, Islam.
See, because like when I first got here, we meet in the house.
Okay.
But you said we meet in McDishman.
Right.
We have a place the public to come. We're not meeting in no, we pay them $75 a week for real.
Community, right.
To meet until we get a building.
Islam.
You know, but we got a lot of work to do here. And y'all two right here is the fruit here.
Man, Islam,
Y'all the one gonna have to run this here.
Well, let me say this. I have
whatever we can do, because the more said that, whatever help, and you would bail in, I'm glad.
Right.
Because we all can work together. See, Drew Ali said the movement will go so low you think it vanished from the face of the earth. Right. Then he said you look up and see nothing but turban and fez. That time is upon us now.
Man, you don't have to tell me.
You know, he also said that we're going to need 16 secretaries. You know, so right now, what we're working on, we're preparing the way for the people.
Islam.
See, we can't go out asking for nothing. We don't want you to give us nothing. We want to give you something.
Islam.
We want to give you your nationality. Because if you don't proclaim your now, I'm just showing her this. And I had this since the 70s. I got this done back in the 70s.
Yep.
People paying all this money to get their birth certificate changed.
Yep.
It ain't cost me nothing.
Islam.
You can get this right here, and you can send for this.
Right.
You can send for this.
Right.
And it's got the nationality, divine creed, everything. Tell them no longer Negro.
Islam.
Because if you get a birth certificate, you got Negro colored and black on it.
Islam.
Then you know that you Moorish American.
Islam.
Everybody that got a birth certificate got Negro colored and black on, you Moorish American.
Islam.
And because we are the sinners, I asked the sister the other day, I said, what is your national name? What is your national name? Just last night. She couldn't tell me. This is your national name. Your national name is Moorish. Your national descent name, your national name is American. Your national descent is Moorish.
Islam.
Like I said, we went to China right now and gave up our citizenship in America, we'd be Moorish Chinese. Nationality is important. Islam. You know, Dred Scott just sitting talking about Scott got free. Scott never did get free because he never claimed his nationality.
Islam.
And that's important. Nationality is all of the day. More than if you don't proclaim your nationality, you're not a citizen.
Islam. Man,
you're not a citizen of this government. The 13th and 14th Amendment have nothing to do with you and me. The 13th and 14th Amendment brought Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee back into the constitutional fold.
Islam.
And the 13th Amendment, when you go to penitentiary, you violate that 13th Amendment because when you violate the law, then the 13th Amendment meant that you can't go to jail.
Islam.
And you are in slavery.
Islam.
You know, so if you proclaim your nationality and violate the 13th Amendment, you still could be enslaved.
Fitted back into slavery, Islam, sir.
So praise Allah. Let me hear some more of that wisdom you have, Mo.
Well, man, I can't give it. I can't give it unless I'm able to spend time around some other brothers like you. I want to also give a special honor to some brothers from the 3rd and 4th generation right here in Portland, Oregon. I'm speaking of, we call him Dr. Pearson Bay in the Pearson Bay tribe. Also, I want to give a special shout out to my brother and also counsel and mentor. We talking about B.L. Lockett-Ill. He's a beautiful man. Beautiful man. He's powerful. Also, let me think of some other people, man. It's so many young brothers. Brother Stanfield Ill. I've had an opportunity to work with in this community from the 3rd and 4th generation. Man, the list goes on and on, Sheik. That's really where, just coming through the door, we have Sheik Gamble. He must have wanted me to salute him and honor him. Yeah. Man, he's my favorite, man. When I arrived, he was a Sheik, so maybe that's just engraved in my brain. That when I met him, he was a Sheik, man. He's a beautiful guy. That's also one of my Anasazi mentors here in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, positive, man. But yeah, all in all, sir, it's been mainly just us having time around the Moors. That's what's refined me. I did the study. I'm studying continuously, but it's been the time around the Moors that's had a chance to kind of smooth out those edges. Because you can spend time by yourself studying so much and you'll drive yourself crazy. You'll come out of there and you'll be so smart that you're just crazy. You know, you have to bounce these things off of other spirits and other human beings, and more so off of your family and other individuals from your culture and from your community. I love spending time with the Moors here because we're able to go into the science. The science of everything. That's important to understand why something is the way that it is. We say Islamism. It's the science of Islam.
Yeah, Islamism is the doctrine.
Right, the doctrine.
You know, so when you say Islam, that's the doctrine of Islam.
Right.
Also, it's the practice and the study.
Right.
See, what we say, we be.
Right, Islam.
You know, whatever. Just like right now, we might give a lot of honor. Just like me, I'm gonna use myself for an example. You say that you's a Moorish American.
Islam.
You say that you's a Muslim. That means that you got to attend your meetings and keep in line with all necessities.
Islam.
You can't say you're ill obey and you ain't doing what you all these say do. See, so if you can take on all these titles and call yourself what it is, but you got to do what you all these say you do. If you're not, you don't get that play from me. I'm not gonna give it to you. You know, so if you say that you're a Moorish American, do you pay your dues? Do you keep in line with all necessities? Are you trying to learn to love instead of hate? Are you respecting your brothers and your sisters? If you ain't doing that, Mo, then you ain't who you say you are. That's why we got to set the pattern here in Portland. See, we got to set the pattern. That's why I gave you the other day a copy of Order Function. So we know that we ain't going to be smoking in the public. We're not going to be cursing in public. We're going to be the message that we bring. We're going to walk with you all in and do the things that he said. Because so many people join the church, just like the book you got. My man wrote the book. But inside the book, he said that our flag is not the red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center.
Yeah, he's lost.
There's somebody show you this flag. What is that? They disrespecting what we stand for because Drew Ali say our flag is the red flag with the 5-pointed green star in the center. Now, we're so blessed with this flag because this flag was flying in the United States. I want you to be able to mind when it wasn't even being flown in Morocco. In March the 2nd, 1956, that's when this flag went up in Morocco. Before then, they was flying the French flag.
I hear that it's 100,000 years old plus.
More, it say over 10 because we're dealing with the one, Mo. One and a lot of zeros. Time never was.
Never was, right. I like that.
You know what I mean? Time never was. And Drew Ali bought us that. That's why George Washington said, I must not tell a lie, chop down a cherry tree. So we got a lot of work to do, Mo. So we got a lot of work. And the unity that you see with the different temples, Mo, it wasn't like this before. This is just coming. But Drew Ali told us that. He said that the movement will go so low you think it vanished from the face of the earth and look up and see nothing but turban and feathers. This time is upon us now. That's why right now, Law gonna keep both of y'all around a long time.
Man, we're blessed to have the law.
Y'all gonna be around a long time, Mo. You know, because we got work to do. I'm not living for nobody else but Drew Ali and the movement. You know, the only strength that Satan has is the strength that we give him. So Mo, you take this chairman spot, and Mo, you the speaker of the house up here, do your work, Mo. Let's get this community, pass these flyers out, let's go to these colleges and talk to the people, and that's what we're doing here.
It'd be an honor to work with you, Mo. I'm glad that I can learn it from the law perspective. See, the things that you're explaining to us, we wouldn't be able to experience that if we didn't have the law here. You're a lawman in this Moorish Science Temple. That means something.
But see, Mo, if it ain't in the book, I don't want to talk about it.
Islam.
See, I just want to be the message that I bring. I just want to tell you what's in the book. See, if it ain't in the book, then it ain't about me. I ain't gonna say nothing that you can't go to the book and find it. Sister called me last night and said she seen it where the prophet, Sister Mason Bay, called me last night and was talking about where the prophet was reading right here, these lessons, you can get these lessons at expense. See, expense means you're laboring for it. Laboring for your reward, not paying nobody no money. And I didn't want to do it, but it's the truth, Mo. And if anybody charging more for the money, they're going to have to stop that in a little while anyway.
Man, thank you,
They're going to have to stop it.
Thank you, Sheik.
They're going to have to stop it. But you knew that. Julie said, if I can get you to think, you'll save yourself. You say you could think, but you still paying money?
Right. Well, and
it's right here in our literature. Brother said the other day, say, here's the real nationality card. The real nationality card, the one Julie gave us.
First one.
The one that you got.
Sheik, it's hard for young Moors coming in. It's so much going on. Like, just like me, I'm speaking from my own experience. When you first coming into these teachings and you learn, okay, there's other temples that still exist, because you might come across the information somewhere, and you realize, oh, it's Moors out there? So when you're trying to make your pick, okay, where do I want to go? And you almost, like I explained to you when I first met you, it's like a baby crawling around. You crawl up to one imagine if everybody a baby crawled up to, they kick the baby while he's crawling. He's in his infancy stage. He's walking up to you asking you, hey brother, are you a Moor? I think I'm a Moor. What's going on? And they start drilling you. Hey, do you know the thing? What's the 15th of the thing? And that's why as young Moors, they get attracted to those kind of situations where it's safe and they can just pay. I noticed that because it's the politics, and then it's also the fear. They're scared, because people are not leading with love. They're leading with, I don't know what that is, Mo.
You went to Stanfield Hill. Somebody beat him out $600 the other day.
He was weak. He was weak at the time. He was a baby.
No, this was recently. This was recent, man. And I met that brother intelligent. He's highly intelligent, man.
They're good.
That's my man.
These guys are good, Mo. They're twisting in the doctrine with the new thing. They got some twist going on. They're incorporated.
Man, if y'all three in Stanfield Hill got together, because he's the baddest brother up here.
These Moors is
He's one of the baddest young brothers up here.
Islam,
and the reason why he don't come to the temple is because what them old dudes done did to him.
See,
I was there.
When he
was
a baby.
in the right.
Kicked him when he was a baby.
See, I stay on, and I take all these bad things because of who I am. But I don't blame them little brothers for what they did. Man, dude talk bad about him, man. Gave him a case all crawl all across the country.
Kicked him when he was a baby.
They do that
Bad
for
about him, man. And that little brother didn't deserve that.
And that's what I was saying in defense of the people that have been pulled into those situations, so that they won't be scared to meet us. Because they meet us, we talking about money too, but we're not talking about taking your money.
Yeah, man.
We're talking about finances and economic security.
We ready to supply everybody financially.
But it's a lot of people trapped in those situations, Mo, where they're being charged
Yeah.
for what's our gross domestic product. As a theocratic government of the Moorish Science of America, our product is knowledge. There's no way that you can be charged for something that we're supposed to be producing.
Guess what then?
We would go bankrupt if we get charged for our gross product.
Y'all be here long after I'm gone, so I might have to sacrifice my life to make sure all this stuff is right.
The reality of it is you can sacrifice as much money as you want to, but if you don't study the truth and get to the science of who we really are and take care of ourselves from the inside out, no money is going to be able to get us anything.
A freedom ride. They said it's $600 freedom ride.
I read the lesson today where the prophet was talking about when y'all sell it for gain, remember the whispers of conscience. And just like I might give somebody this for $5 and they sell for $25.
Islam.
You know what I mean? So you don't do that to your brother and your sister.
Right.
That's why, you always, when you talking about having a store or representing somebody in Congress, they got to have the Spirit of God in them.
Islam.
Because if you don't have the Spirit, even in the relationships that you get in, if your wife don't have the Spirit of God, 'cause I see her reading the Bible all the time.
Yeah, she's
But if she didn't have the Spirit of God, then you better get away from her.
Islam.
Because if we don't have